If you're watching this is just to tell you that everything can be content. Good morning, it is 5:30 in the morning and I have decided I'm just gonna start vlogging everything. Unlimited content, you know. About 2 weeks ago, I started taking creatine. I've taken it every day now, and it is probably the best decision I've ever made. I put it in my water alongside this electrolyte powder. It makes everything just 100 times better. I love being outside this early because no one's really awake. It's super quiet, you're up before the world, but man, I'm not a morning person, so this isn't easy to do. Every time I come to the gym, I just start out with just some stretches. I'll listen to 10-minute Bible talks on Spotify. It's a great way to start your day, you know? Okay, just finished at the gym. It's 7:20. I gotta make food, I gotta get ready. But if you're watching this is just to tell you that everything can be content. You don't need to have something fully planned out, especially if you're a beginner. Just do what I'm doing. Point the camera at yourself, hit record, and see what you get at the end of the day. Good morning. You can't eat it. I find that if I don't have protein in the morning, I'm tired throughout the day. I don't have, oh. That's it. Like if all I have is carbs or like toast or bagels or whatever, I can't function throughout the day. We start my day by checking the searches and tasks for my clients. I'm a realtor. But we got a sign call on one of our listings, and so I have to give that person a call back first because those things are time is of the essence.
Call has been forwarded to voice.
Hey there, this is Joe Wheatley with the Munoz Group over at Compass. That's an easy one. And I think that price point is around $775.
$775. Okay, I will keep that in mind, and thank you so much for calling me back. I appreciate it.
Current owners have great taste, so.
Yes, I agree with you. You'll hear from me sometime today or tomorrow.
Hey, Joe. I'm so sorry. It's pretty early.
I'm usually up around 5:30, so it is all good. This is not too
goodness.
early.
That's even earlier than I get up.
Yeah.
That's fine. That sounds perfect.
Awesome. So I spend about 30 to 45 minutes every morning going through my CRM, making sure it's organized because it's one of the most important parts of my business. For all of my contacts in there, I like to group them. I have a whole bunch of different groupings. So there's leads, active clients, sphere of influence, past clients, vendors, agents, and probably a couple more as well. I also add tags to contacts so that I'm able to communicate with them easier and just totally remember exactly what they got going on. So if they're a renter, I'll tag them as rental. If they're a purchaser, I'll tag them as purchaser, etc. If they are an open house visitor, I'll tag them as open house, and that'll automatically connect it to different tasks that sync on a certain amount of days for follow-ups and things like that. And then I will also add them to monthly newsletter. That way I can just click, who do you want to send this to? And then you click monthly newsletter and it goes out to everybody. So it makes everything pretty streamlined, pretty easy. I also like to update the notes section for each client, any activity that we've had, any communication that we've had, just so I know like, oh, last time I talked to them was this date, here's what we talked about, and now I can kind of move forward with that conversation. Yeah, I spent about 45 minutes working on my CRM. Now I am moving on to checking out the searches that I have going for my clients, checking out some tasks, doing some follow-ups, all of that kind of stuff. Together a tour for a client today, and I wanted to point out that if you aren't mapping it out for your client like this, and then also having a digital version that you can send them so that they can just click it on their phone, then you should probably start doing that. Before you go into our house, there are 4 things that you should do. The first thing to check is flood zones. If your property is in a flood zone, then you're gonna have to pay for flood insurance, and then you also just have that worry hanging over your head that if you get a torrential downpour, you might have some problems. The next thing to check is if your property backs a busy street, a highway, or if there are train tracks nearby, anything that makes a lot of noise, because that can be a resale concern for you later on in the future, and you might not wanna deal with the excess noise and traffic that comes along with those circumstances. There are plenty of other action steps you can take, like pulling permits, looking at a property survey, all of that good stuff. If you ever need help with any of that, feel free to reach out. The fourth thing to look for is the seller disclosure notice. Now, this is a document that the seller fills out and it lists all of the known information about a property. If you go through that document and it notes that foundation repairs were done, typically I would say avoid that property. However, it does depend on how many years has it been since that work was done. Did they use concrete or steel? You know, the depth of the work. Just walking the dogs. together.
God.
And we have jackets on now, but in like an hour we'll be sweating. Welcome to Austin. Now's the part of my day where I search for vacant homes that are new to the market that I think will be really good to post on social media. It's also good because it just keeps you, updated with the inventory and all of that kind of stuff. Typically, when I'm looking for a home to do on social media, it should be pretty unique. So it should either be something like a 3D printed home or, like a 1930s bungalow type house. I've already found two that I like. I'm not gonna have time to tour them today. You guys, what I mean by picking houses to tour that are cute. So take a look at this one. Look at just the outside of this. Like, that's so adorable. I will be going to tour that one probably Monday if it's still available and it hasn't sold by then, because I have a showing in 2 hours. Yeah, man, if you're not spending a lot of your time in houses each week, just taking videos, taking content, understanding the years, why they're built the way they are, what style it is, all that kind of stuff, then you should probably start doing that. It's 12:30 now, so I'm gonna eat, take a little bit of a break, maybe 45 minutes, and then I gotta head to the office because I have to print a bunch of documents for open houses this weekend. I got 2. I also have another tour tomorrow morning for like 2 to 3 hours, and then an open house right after that. And it's free to print at the office, not free to print at home. I didn't even have time to record when I was in the office. I had to print so fast and get to where I'm at now, which is a showing. Client's not here yet, so I have a sec to show you this, what it looks like on the outside. It's actually pretty cute. She's cute. A separate office space. When you walk through here, this is gorgeous. All right, it is 4:06. I just wrapped up with the showing. So I am now heading to get a car wash because a bird pooped right on my car, which is not ideal. I feel like $15 for a singular car wash, I feel that's kind of a lot. Am I wrong? Anyways, is the bird poop gone? Let's see. It is. All right, it's 5:23, a little bit later than I wanted it to be. Let me show you what I create for open houses. First thing I make is a neighborhood flyer. So I will roll it up and then I'll just tie or put a paper clip around it, and then I'll put it in a plastic bag. And the bag has a hole at the top of it so you can put it on door handles. I prefer this to door knocking because 1, nobody wants a door knocker. I don't like door knockers. 2, typically when people get things on their door handle, they have to move it. Yeah, it just guarantees that they're at least gonna look at whatever it is that's there. And that neighborhood flyer, typically I put a QR code on it, and that QR code takes them to a link that's either, I like to switch it up, it could be like a work with me, and they fill out a form, or it could be more of so like I have a digital booklet, buyer guide. The second thing I create is for people that are actually entering the open house. It has pictures on the front with the address and the neighborhood. And then it'll, on the backside, it'll have my information. I'll have 2 QR codes. The first one will take them to a digital link to the listing. And I do it through my own account. So then the listing pops up as like my name will be there as well as the listing agent. And then the second QR code that I put on there is typically either the buyer guide or that work with me again. And then it has information on there about the home. So they don't have to ask the general questions, and we can really just kind of like dive into deeper conversations during that time. I create, it's just for me, it's not for them. It's a quick CMA of all the active, pending, and closed listings in that area. Just gives me some more facts to speak to, and of course, if you know what's going on in the neighborhood, they're more likely to trust you because you seem familiar with what's going on. But you also should just be familiar with what's going on because that's your job. I like to create a super wide, just rough market analysis, not of any of the sold or pending homes, just the ones that are active. Just in case it's like one of those situations where they don't like this house, but hey, there are so many more available. Like I would love to show you X, Y, and Z. And then if you give them a whole packet or a whole market analysis, I mean, this is, how many pages is this? This is 68, 69, 70, 74 pages, right? So if you give them a 74 page thing that has all of these comparisons of properties and all that kind of stuff, They know that you really take the time to put in the work. They are able to see just quickly, right then and there, how does this compare to the property I'm looking at, all of that kind of stuff. The other things that I bring to the open house is any documentation that's available. So if they have seller disclosure notice, survey, upgrades and improvements, whatever I can to give the visitors more info, the more you give, the better, right? The last thing that I bring is a lender incentive. So it'll have like a flyer that has my face on it, the lender's face on it, and it'll say something along the lines of, you can get $2,000 in credit if you go with this lender by this date on this property. For the open house itself, I have, water, seltzer water, snacks. If we're listing a property and it's, a pretty intensive property, we'll do things like hire a barista and have like free lattes and things like that. And then I'll also always have my card on me, but I don't always give out my card. Typically, I like to try and get some kind of contact information. And then I have a sign up sheet on my computer. So when they sign in, it automatically tags them as an open house visitor. And it automatically applies tasks to me to do like a follow-up with cadence for those people that are watching on YouTube and not just seeing the clips that I put on social media. I'm pretty much done with this video. I have plenty of other things to do. I have a client going to open houses tomorrow. I'm not able to go because I'm doing tours tomorrow with another client, but I need to check out those properties that she wants to go to open houses for because they just hit the market. Make sure, they're not in the flood zone and all that other stuff I mentioned before. I will be editing this video probably until pretty late, maybe 9 or 10 o'clock. Go to bed, wake up at 10, wake up at 10, wake up at 5, and you start all over again. I'm pretty tired by the end of the day. I'm pretty tired right now, actually, but I just had more coffee. So I don't want to always make these about real estate. I'm definitely going to just do some regular vlogs too because I enjoy it and vlogs need to make a comeback. So if you live in Austin or you like Austin and want to know more about it, I check out like lots of restaurants, coffee shops, parks, all that kind of stuff and fun activities. So feel free to follow along and maybe we can build a little community here. So bye guys.